Alright, so then it's time for me to explain to you what is happening here. Also, we have now the second biggest event of the weekend in Trackmania, after Ascension. The United Masters, the second edition, the first edition was also this year, which has actually prize money. And as I realized after the qualification and the semifinals, it actually has prize money for the top 16. I actually realized it a little bit late, because at first I thought, yeah, it's anyway only top 10 or something, and then it wouldn't be, like I wouldn't have any chance to get there. But top 16 is actually doable. I'm 18th overall, and then you have of course some kind of big prize money to gain in the very first positions. I don't know the exact amount now. The thing is that, sadly, a very bad news, the favorite and kind of best Trackmania United player so far, and also leading in the whole United Masters season here, Sander is not playing. He is actually burned out and can't really start the game anymore, doesn't feel like it. And now we have, with him missing, he will drop down a lot. But I don't know if I can overtake him actually after these 7 races. I have no idea if I'm able to overtake him, because the gap to him is quite huge. And that means that Black Q will be in the lead right ahead of Neko. And what we now do is, today we will play 3 races, next Sunday we will play the remaining 4 races. Each environment in this game gets 1 race. And the idea is that depending on your position in the finish, after 24 laps, you get points. But also the top fastest laps, the top 24 fastest laps, I guess, also they get points. And one player can have multiple of those. So one player can get like the top 10 fastest laps and he gets points for all of them. You can score a lot with that. That's a bit bad for me because I will never get into the fastest laps there. That's usually then done by just a few people. But of course, if they go for fastest laps, there's a chance that they might make mistakes and then I can gain points like that. Maybe. Today we will play 3 environments. That is Island, which you see here, Bay, and Desert. My better environment, Stadium and Coast, will come next week, where I will try to get a better position. Today it is mainly trying to survive and getting solid positions into the finish. That's the main task. On Bay I'm in theory a bit better. Maybe a better position is possible there. However, on Bay the level is also the strongest between the whole field. So that is definitely not easy and safe to get. So we are waiting for the last players to join, and I think that happened now. That's always a bit annoying. I have the interface off and suddenly it ends. You have a map change and I cannot make the interface on now. In the bottom left corner you see my FPS. That's always a big issue in this game for me. They show a very consistent 144 now, that's good. But I still have like, it's just laggy on my screen and that's annoying. Alright, so warm up, live and then warm up, yeah. So might start with this track then, which is Island. We have a bit of warm up here, 2.5 minutes, and after that we will drive 24 laps. And the thing is, we will drive with cars forced on. I cannot make them off. So you will always see when I gain or when I lose positions. Lol. how high they jump from the land. This environment here is very tricky to drive. It is the fastest, but not in the acceleration. The acceleration is very slow from this car, but the average high speed that you get is very high. That means that if you crash here with this car and you have to accelerate again from 0, you don't have flying respawns, you have only standing respawns, then you will lose a lot. So crashes cost in this environment more time than in other environments. So consistency is quite important, but I can tell you, also as close as gaps are in stadium environment, because in this game here it's not only about tight driving, it is also about smooth steering and with how much speed do you get through a corner without sliding away. And because of that, not always like just the shortest lines are here the fastest. If players manage to get more speed through a corner, especially this left turn here, you see this car for example has way more speed than me, you can gain a lot of time towards others. And the problem is that all these players that manage to do that gain each turn a lot of tenth of a second to me, and I will miss like to the fastest lap times, I will miss like around 4 or 5 seconds here on this track. That's how much I lose every single lap. So this is quite crazy in this format, or in these races. Like, people are very trained in the top, and they have an incredible feeling for this car. And it's just the time difference that you can expect, 4 or 5 seconds in every lap. Multiply that with 24, then you know what kind of distance I have, and that's only if I don't crash. So I guess that we will start now. With a grand final. There might be a false start, that happens quite often here. Yeah, and then what can I expect on this track? Also my hope is that I am in the top 18, maybe. We are 32 players maximum. Some might miss. So with the best player sender missing, it means of course that there's a better position, you know, like one better position on every single track possible to get. And with this car there, you see how much it costs if you make a mistake. And how much you can win if you take a bit more speed through a corner. And 16th at the moment. But where are all these cars coming from? Das lernt man. Level on island is crazy. We have done 1/3 of the race. I saw the maps today for the first time, by the way, but in theory you had 3 weeks of training. Also the map pick is out in 3 weeks. Also, the last match of this competition on the previous map pack is 3 weeks ago. But it's just not me and not finding time earlier to practice. I also don't know if it would make me better on this environment here. I would already practice it earlier. This is an environment where a joystick, a steering wheel, something like that is a bit better than just using a gamepad. You can of course also do well with a gamepad on it. But a lot of the United players actually use then these gaming input devices that allow smooth steering a bit easier and more precise. And it kinda hurts my hands as well after some time of driving such an environment where you have to smooth steer every corner. With Sander missing, Lucario is here the main favorite to win this map. And a lot of points. Also by fastest laps. Besides all the people that fight for the overall win, like Nico, Hawk and Black U. And Lucario is a full island driver, driving now with steering wheel. And he's only basically going for these island races. This is where he can win, this is where he's motivated to train. The other environments he just knows basically, like myself, not much. Just can drive them consistently into the finish, but not fast. But he is a direct opponent of mine. I can win then points on Stadium and coast on him. But he wins a lot of points here. Especially with these best lap points, he will gain a lot on me. have two people not far away from me. Now they will come. Oh, that was a shock second. At least I knew that he will come, but directly into the chicane. Ugh. Yeah, island is really tough. It's one of my weaker environments. But you see also that the level is just so crazy. Because I'm doing a very good race. Pace-wise, I'm of course, as I said, missing quite something. But I also said that mistakes are really costing a lot of time. And from the people that are pace-wise not that much faster than me, yeah? If they do big mistakes, then they should end up behind me. When I'm driving so consistent. Still, I'm only 17th. With a pretty clean race until here. I've never done many laps on this. I've never done like an endurance test on this. Only very short. And then I was like sliding away so often. Of course I'm saving it now a little bit more to avoid slide-outs in the wrong parts. Like here in the tunnel, it is deadly. And that will lose me definitely also a bit of time that I'm doing that safer. But at least I don't have these mistakes. It's so annoying when you have cars around you. So easy to mess up. I think that was an overlap as well. So that one ghost, there's someone that I overlap, I believe. The other ghost is Draco, who was behind me. Draco's also a consistent player. An all-rounder. Probably just a tiny bit more practice than me. So now the position is wrong that you see in the middle. That's a bug that you get after a certain amount of checkpoints crossed. I think 250 checkpoints or something like that. Yes, most likely also come the moment where the first place is overlapping me. So I'm not sure if it will happen, but it's definitely possible. It seems also that people have gotten so consistent, yeah? Really don't see the big crashes here. And I wonder if I got a bit slower during the last laps. Because the gap to the next players ahead is suddenly so huge. Also ahead of Draco now. They can do mistakes and wouldn't even fall behind me. For a long time I was close to them. It's like a 10-second gap suddenly. And for a long time during this race I was keeping up. During these last laps I have to do a bit faster again. I don't know if someone is any close to me. How much is the risk of losing a position if I make a mistake now? A moment of not being focused enough. It's a blind part. Very confusing. Not long to go. Caught slightly up at the end of the last lap. Two more laps to go after this is over. I guess that this was an overlap. Seems like we are not getting overlapped. Oh, he got that turn so good. Oh, I got it bad? I don't know. I beat that battle. So, Lucario actually nowhere to be seen, which is good for me. Only 7th. We have Hawk winning. He has to do some huge comeback if he still wants to win the United Masters. I don't know what he did in the end of the semi-final, but he was throwing there. Partly it felt like he threw on purpose. Placket in 2nd place. Jumper check in 3rd. That is such a good position for jumper check. And he is one of the guys I wanna catch up to. This is not possible like this. Q, the leader, in 4th, and Neko, the overall 2nd place, in 5th. Then we got Sepset, Lucario, Fett, Phil, Roa. I don't know who Exotic is. Kent, Ahu, Spitfire, Prof, Zeus, Raptor. Halko Raptor. It's so crazy how the level is. Like, that so many players were doing better than what I did, and not even by a little bit. It was like 10 seconds. Naja, so we got the fastest laps. Q with a 102.91, then Lucario 103.08. Then against Q, Hawk, Placket, Lucario, Hawk, Jumper, check, Lucario, Placket. You can see that in the top. You can actually see that there are only 24 players playing, and I'm 18th. With that race, yeah, with that race. After 24 laps, being within a minute to the 1st place means that I only lost in the average a bit more than 2 seconds, and on island that is so difficult to lose that much. Wait. What did I say? As on island, I wanted to say it is so easy to win, to lose over 2 seconds in average. On someone that tries like that's ultra sick pace. It is kinda crazy that I only beat so few people with that. Because that was, I'm super happy with that performance. Yeah, behind Drago, there was a gap of 1.5 minutes. So I had literally nothing to lose. Which means actually I should have gone way more risky. Probably I would have done a way worse race. I think that in a consistency score, there will always, also people always do then scores, pace-wise, consistency-wise and so on. I should be very good there in the consistency because I didn't have a single big crash. I had only a few small drifts, but in parts where it doesn't cost much time. So I guess that I drove kinda always the same lap times during the whole race. I would have lost that if I go more risk, but more risk would have meant that I only lose maximum 1 position, But I could have maybe gained then a bit. Maybe I could have reached that part where Zeus, Prof, Spitfire, Aru, and so on finished. But tough to say. Overall, I really struggle with the like that. It's not so smooth, this game. That makes it difficult. Like always when it's like a little bit laggy, then you cannot really attack these corners. You have to react so quickly with this car. And you realize, oh, my line isn't perfect, I would hit something, but you have to react quickly, and the more quicker you react, the more gentle you can steer and fix that issue. Yeah, if you're then late with the reaction, then you have to steer more, then you get a drift and so on. Also, yeah. And you see here the Nemania records on the left. I can tell you that I probably drove only a 106, maybe 107, because I saved a few parts to not crash them like the tunnel. Also I could have driven 105, but you see that everyone is doing faster times. So some people are doubled in here. Yeah, everyone. That's why they look so good. Like you have Lucario here and then also in 7th. I saw that also in the other steps with semifinals. So are the old daddies and then what people drove now. The dark blue is what they drove now. So Lucario already drove a 101.65 here, but now he only got a 103.08 as the best time. There you see how much there's still possible. Alright, the second 24 lap race is going to start. First of all, a bit of warm-up. And next week we have actually 4 24 lap races. That's gonna be really difficult. 24 laps, yeah, you have to imagine how long that is of driving. My hand kinda hurts already after that island race. Bay is definitely a bit nicer to drive in that regard. Whenever it's more of like full steering involved, then I'm feeling it is better for my hand. But as long as I have to smooth steer every corner, it is tough. Bay is now a very difficult thing. Also in theory, I feel like I have decent pace. Also, of course, not close to the top, but compared to Island, I am pace-wise way closer to others. And it's also just a better environment for me. The problem is that Bay is a very decent environment for pretty much every single player. And it seems like Bay is like the overall environment that everyone can play in United. Nobody is super bad in it. There are not many players where you would say they are outstandingly good compared to others. Yeah, a bit Sander, Q in TimeAttack earlier, many years ago, Zaitsev. Because it was his main environment and he was doing very good there. But when I remember the old Giant Cups, which was the biggest solo competition back then always, when I remember that, then I must say, like Bay every year was completely different who was doing better or worse there. It depended more on the map, if it's more slower map or more faster map, but also that, like you couldn't really say that this one player is here the best. I think in an interview I once said that Vincent, called 2100, as a Mercer, that he was the most consistent then in those matches seemingly, but yeah, it was also just taken from 2 years kinda. So it is now basically important for me. If I want to reach the top 16 overall, then I need to beat some players now. I'm really happy with my island performance, but in the end, it is only Dragovu I've beaten. Yeah, only him I've beaten. Everyone else, I lost positions and points. That's kinda annoying. Because the people that were then behind Drago, I think they are anyway behind me. They will play no role, I guess. But yeah, here it would be now interesting to get as far into the front as possible. But it's not easy. Bay is also such a risky environment. You can lose a lot of time here in several sections if you crash there. And as I said, player field is close and you will see a lot of cars close together as well. Also that's... The last bay in the semi-final, I was super efficient. I finished, and if I finished 2 seconds slower, then 5 players would have been ahead of me. So I got like the optimal, almost the maximum in that semi-final race. And I hope I can get something like this now as well. Wow. That was a crash. Was there someone respawning inside my car? Lol. I was wondering what kind of lag that was. I didn't say it yet, that black section where the guy overtook me, I don't like it. I don't like black sections at all in Bay, kinda. But there, especially, like every part of this black section is quite long. It's something I don't like. It's hard for me to go to the limit. and I wanna look what my position is. But I don't know at which checkpoint that is good. Most checkpoints here have like corners right after. You cannot really look away. This is a part I'm saving a lot because I'm full crashed it so often. Okay, now you see 12th place. That means the 10th place is not far away from me. Annoying small mistake. Scheiße. Oh, I hate that section. As I said, I hate that black part. Oh no, and I had to respawn that. Scheiße. And it just bumps away. Yeah, because I went over the inside edge. I don't know why that actually makes the car bump. I knew, however, from the training that this would happen if I go there. But something in this turn just wants me to go there. I don't know. I cannot go further outside. Shit, I had such a nice, like, no car around me. That was so good. I wanted to improve my pace now. What the fuck? I was like, is this an overlap? Maxi, who is that guy? Ecstatic. Who is that? I mean, why is he so far behind? If he's so good. I mean, look how much faster he is. It's crazy. For a moment I thought that's an overlap already. Even though that can't be happening so early in races. Respawn that annoys me so much, because it's relatively sure that in the end of the race I will say if I would be 10 seconds faster in the finish, then I would have had that many positions better. Very likely to happen. Right before that mistake I was on 12th place and felt like, hey, I see the 9th place not far away and I can definitely improve my pace by a little bit and get them. Yeah. I was pretty confident that I could maybe get them and get 9th place in this race. It would be a very good result. Celtic made another big mistake. Might be one of the guys that is right ahead of me in the finish. And without that mistake I would have had him. We are halfway through now. It is so laggy, especially on this map where you have to react so often. Ah. Especially here, I don't know what's happening there. Why is it that so laggy? barely drivable at this point, literally. I have to focus so much. I really hate that game for that. I kinda knew that this mistake would happen in the race at some point. I hoped it wouldn't, but after my training on this, my short training from today, I knew about that problem. Cannot really catch up to the next players ahead. I mean, I overtook some cars sometimes, but the way how they drove, I doubt that this was a direct position gain. It was probably overlaps. This is such a difficult map. If some players just play occasionally here, they will lose so much time each lap, even to me. That was probably a direct position, even though that also looked like an overlap. Yeah, what the fuck? That was full speed until here. How does he have suddenly more speed? Must be going for best lap points, eh? I wonder if he got some. I mean, his pace shows that he's definitely has a possibility. But the most amount of points Q should actually take away. Wait, I didn't see. Did he crash or is he just gone so fast? No, he must have crashed. I didn't see the crash though. I mean, I don't have it in my own hands because he's so fast. But I would, of course, like to be ahead of him and not within 10 seconds behind him. It seems like the other players I cannot catch up to. And maybe I wouldn't have gotten the 9th place anyway there. Maybe they are just driving faster. And if Exitic would be there, I would be very alone. I mean, I overtook 2 people after my crash. But at this point, I would assume that they are quite far behind me. I hope so. There's our car ahead. But I'm catching up so quickly that this must be also an overlap. More laps. choking a little bit this lap, giving the opportunity to the guys behind to catch up. Also 5 seconds in front of me is someone that I could have beaten. I think there are even 2. So the mistake kinda hurts a bit. I don't know how much it did cost exactly, just guess with 10 seconds. Because it was a standing respawn. Yeah. Also you see that if I lost 10 seconds, I lost 3 positions. Jumper check, vet and Spitfire. Kent is then behind me 5 seconds, and then Ecstatic another 9 seconds behind that. Yeah, quite crazy. Raptor, Zeus, they are losing a bit of points to me, but not much. The best, also Zapset won, interestingly, yeah, with a good margin towards Roa, Phil, Q, Neko. So Q on his own map not winning, and especially on Bay, but he has a lot of fastest lap times. He's there first, he's second, then we have Neko, then again Q, then Ecstatic in 5th place. Neko, QQ, Phil, Neko, Q, Roa. Yeah, Ecstatic rights. Race was over after lap 1 for me, top 5 time though. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we kind of look. His login is Consti Racer from Dresden. Is it Granadi from Dresden? Q again 4th and Neko again 5th. And then Hawk 6th, Black Cat 7th. Look how close that is here. It's so crazy how close it is. Then you have a gap towards Aru. Prof is doing really good on all the environments somehow. Jumper check, Fat Spitfire. Yeah. Also if I want to really improve some positions, then it would have been quite crucial to yeah, get these few places better. 13th looks like so, yeah, it's in the nothingness kinda. For a good environment, like this one of my better environments, this is definitely not a result I want. Yeah, one mistake. Of course, if I don't do the mistake, then I battle with other cars that makes me slower again here and there, maybe. But just in theory, it was definitely possible to reach 10th place, I would say. Like the top 8 were unreachable now. Especially with my train, but even if I trained more, it seems momentarily just difficult with this game. And with my hand. To go that fast for such a long time. Behind Zeus, by the way, we have Drago, Chaotic, Frink. Akanto said, fuck this 10-second respawn lap 23, but he's 14 seconds behind Frink. Between Drago and Chaotic again, yeah, there is a gap of over a minute. Now you really see 2 fields there. Hello, Sheldon. So we have now one more map to go. And I can tell you that this is the, sorry Blackhead, but this is the worst league map I've ever played on Whole Track Mania, and it's the most unfun map ever. The idea from Blackhead, also first of all, Desert. It's one of my worst environments. We played now 2 of my worst environments with Desert and with Island. Desert is like a really tough environment for me, especially with several certain turn combinations or with certain stuff you have to do. I don't like if it's too fast. I don't like transitions between banked and flat, while you have a corner that where the car is wobbling up. This map contains so many weird transitions that it's quite annoying. Otherwise, the idea... I did a 108.9, I see. Otherwise, the idea from Blackhead in his desert map was to build several spots where you have different ways that you can drive. You have like a risky way and you have alternative ways. These alternative ways, however, are also not really safe ways. They are just slower, but also not easier. Also, they have then other difficulties where you can lose time. So you're kind of forced, however, to take the fast way in many of these parts. And I can just say, because of all these speed checks that you have, the map is super... also you don't get into a flow. Like when you drive it, the flow gets broken every time. When you have the next jump, when you have the next something. And also between these speed checks, like one speed check ends on an off-road part, you will see the off-road part exit is so weird. You have to go super inside, you come with a lot of speed and you have to go super inside over a bump and then into a checkpoint, and in the checkpoint the off-road has different physics where you slide away, which drives so shit. And then you have right after that section, like this is the whole worst part of the map, the middle section. You have like a banked platform onto booster transition where my car just randomly loses all its speed. I don't know how this transition is, like how shall it work? I don't know. Then you have a banked to banked uphill jump with desert car, which is like the worst ever. And even it doesn't even go straight after you land this banked jump. You even have to turn then. So there are so many things that completely put you out of flow. And the worst thing is that there is one part, the jump towards the off-road, you have to get the part before literally optimal to overjump that way. And if you don't have the speed for that, there is just no nice to drive safe opportunity that you can take. You have 3 ways. One way goes through a tunnel, is super dumb, is super slow. Then there is a right way, but there you also have to do a blind jump at the end, which is super annoying to do, and you also need speed for that. So you can easily fail there. So it's also not an option. So you have to take the middle way. You have there then the option, if you know that you don't make the jump, you can just stay on the road itself, but it will lose you a lot of time because in the end you don't land in the downhill before the rough road. You will then jump from the top of the downhill and jump completely unsmooth onto the off-road. So that's also garbage. And if you have this annoying speed where you just barely don't make it onto the downhill, then you flip over. So there is like, this is literally the most annoying track I've ever seen. It is meant to be played full train. If you have the chance to overcome these risky sections, then the map is okay. But for fast learning, it is absolutely garbage. And we had some discussions today in the United Unicorn Discord about that map. There are people that protect the map. There are people that don't like it. And funnily enough, and mark this day into your calendars, Zeus actually agreed with me. This is something I've never seen yet. So mark this day down, 29th of October 2023. And next year we celebrate the birthday of Zeus Equi. Maybe we fight in another thing where we agree. By the way, before that important jump towards the off-road, you have to maneuver your car through a helix exit, which is super tight, and now you have to imagine that you have to do this with cars on. So already in the first lap I'm thinking like, no. The good thing is, on this map, the people, I expect at least, will be very quickly far away from each other. That is what I'm expecting. Yeah, I really think the people will quickly be far away from each other, and you don't have that many cars around you then on the next laps. But if it happens that right going to that section, a car is suddenly appearing from the back, then I will crash there for sure. I don't know what I can expect from this map. We saw there was always a big gap behind Drago. We have 6 minutes of warm-ups now. There was always a big gap behind Drago. But actually, these players, they can definitely catch up to me. By the way, I'm the only one probably that drives this way now in the start, but I don't care. The other way is already risky again, because you have to make sure that you overjump the edge, and if you don't, then you flip over. So yeah. So also at the start you have several ways. So now comes the part that I'm talking about. You have to maneuver your car between this, so that you have enough speed, and this is exactly the speed. You look at this. Like, what is this, yeah? And we have to drive 24 laps on that. And this bank-to-bank jump, like, ah! So it could, yeah, I will release. When I know that I don't have the speed to overjump it completely, I will try to land beforehand. So then you have here an important corner to not fail, like now, because you want to make this jump. This is in theory easy. Now you have also again 2 ways. I'm going for the safe way, which goes to the right. Has here luck booster even. I do that because then this jump here is easier. Upsala. Yeah, this jump is then more simple to overcome. Then you have the speed. And then what is this transition here? Like this block mix. It is also so ugly, this map. Literally. And now I go for the risk way that others basically directly do in the first lap, like this jump. The annoying thing is that all the other 2 ways, or there are several options how you can drive this, they are all not really that great either, or just slower or bad to play. So yeah, also this is really, I really like that Blackhead hosts this car. That's really nice. I also like endurance, but the fact that he kinda, I saw gifs from him in the United Discord where he started building this map here. I was already thinking, oh no. But now when I discovered today the full version of it, I'm like, no. This is like, no, you see, I don't get any flow about that. It's so annoying to drive. So it could be that I'm doing much worse now, and that people that were in the other environments far behind, like a minute behind, are now doing better. But it could also be that if I find like consistent pace, then this could also be a chance, because on a normal desert map, pace-wise, I'm also losing out a lot of positions. But here you can expect many people to fail. And if many people fail on this track and I keep it somewhat clean, then suddenly a very, very good position is doable. So, I don't know. Look how unsmooth that is. And what is this bump here? And then, yeah, you didn't see it now. Sometimes I slide away on that checkpoint block, because it's different off-road physics. But I don't know when. Like now it felt like I had full grip. I never understand this. It's kind of a bug. You can use it for something maybe. But it's known. That's not... That certain blocks that you set on the ground change the one off-road to the other off-road physics. Naja, my problem basically, also first of all, I'm not really training too much, and then fast learning such a map is annoying. Like, if you had seen my first try on this, it's just, yeah, that was so annoying. Like, I didn't even know where to drive to, because it's so confusing as well, all these ways. Secondly, I'm the safe meister, I want to have safe ways. But the safe ways here are just, they are just way too bad. And there was Roa defending the map, showing like a picture where he drew some lines like possible safe options after a question from Zeus actually. But these lines that he drew there, yeah, maybe you will not crash there, but you will lose 3 seconds. Like, this is not an option for this race. Yeah, so what the heck? Of course we were asking for reliable safe ways that really make sense to take, no? And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Roa could defend this map like that. That was such a bad argument from him. No, I said earlier in the Cup of the Day, if I would drive these safe lines that he drew there, then I would be kicked out of the OK Boys 10 times already. I thought about writing that into the United Discord, but I guess nobody there would understand. Oh, it's ending already. Yay. Alright. Naja, let's go. We will find out how this is going. I really hope that I can get better positions than on the other maps, because this map is so wild. But I don't know. No false start. This first lap is so many cars around me, I go like this, I thought. Nice acceleration. Someone standing, respawn there. Yeah, often land bad as well, by the way. In the diagonal jump. It seems like I'm doing everything different than others. Nice. In the start here. The line that they take, I also thought about doing it. But to be honest, that's a very, very weird diagonal line, where at the landing it's tough to hit the correct spot. I cannot really judge the speed. I would have made it there or not. I don't know. This is what I mean with bad landings. It doesn't matter too much, luckily, because there's this downhill coming up. But still, it is super annoying. Similar to Bay, I'm on 12th, and I have a lot of people right in front. Also this bank to bank is really... I better don't talk. I mean, you see how much I struggle, and then you can imagine how much I like it. I guess I don't need to say. But the shit time loss, yeah? It was unsavable. Oh my god, that was almost too low. $33 seconds I'm behind. Now it's more. Also on this map, there will be overlaps. 41 seconds. I think I didn't even lose a single position. Yeah, so why did I do this mistake? Because I felt like if I want to get it now a bit more consistent with overjumping it, and not losing like always over a second at each landing there, I need to get a good exit there. With less steering, yeah? And then I have a slight touch and immediately rip. And this is the case on so many parts. I don't like such exits. Way too tight. If they are so important. I cannot really judge my speed as well. I don't know when I will make it and when I don't. I will release here a lot. So that my car doesn't start any wobbles that I cannot control anymore. Like on a normal desert map I wouldn't be on 11th. Especially not with such a respawn. So at least it has something good. Fuck this map, man. I had a lag. Like, what shall I do? I just checked, I was 10 seconds behind Prof. Like, this is so garbage because you directly get completely thrown out of the map. That happens. Actually, that didn't even happen a lot when I trained it. That I was touching there, didn't really happen. Wait, someone ahead of me also had a respawn. So I would have even gained a position instead of lost. But really combined with the legs and then I have to hit that is... then forget it. But I think you see now why I said, why I was roasting so much about this map. I think you see why it can't make fun to me if it goes like this. What? Some of these cars are overlaps. Also, I mean, there was one car that I overlapped, I guess. But I also get overlapped now. Interestingly, Hawk is doing really bad. He's only for like 4 seconds ahead of me. Stop lagging, man, in this turn as well. You cannot be more unlucky. I mean, only if I actually ended up on my roof, that would have been more unlucky. What the fuck, eh? I was basically overjumping this. It is so dumb. Black Hitman, please never map again. That's It was so close to basically then absolutely good. And ended up like a complete disaster. And this is only half of the race yet. Without all these mistakes, I think there was actually something possible. But now I'm even losing positions. Ah, no man. But literally, I was already on my tires again and then my car got again on its roof. I actually made 2 positions again. Somehow. But Kent is now almost 10 seconds in front. And I kinda don't want Kent in front of me. Oh, this is Hawk. Why is even Hawk battling with me? On desert, yeah. Like Hawk is overlapped on desert. That kinda shows what he thinks of this map, I believe. Ay, ay, ay. Stop lagging, game, man. Oh my god. Oh, that was close again. How shall I avoid it when I go through there with a few FPS? I was so safe ahead of Kent. And if I just never go for it, you know? If I just decide to never go for it, never trying to overjump, always releasing, then some of these things wouldn't have happened. That was Hawk again. I don't know what he's doing. Similar to his coast performance, I believe, from from the semi-final. Coast he did really bad. Like on his strongest environments, he does really bad. But probably he also doesn't give a fuck. It's just weird because he starts Island with like a win. No, I think he was winning Island. And makes a comeback in the standings with that. And then comes Desert, which is his best environment. And he ends up like this. And destroys everything that he kinda won with Island. So I would like to get 10th in this race, because that would have been possible without the super bad crashes. If I'm 10th and then there's half a minute of a gap in front of me, I'm fine, because then the crashes didn't matter. But I really don't know if I can catch up to Kent. There are two guys that battle in the top positions. Aha. No way! Mann! What is this bug? I just caught up to Kent. I was literally at him. Dude! I got a mid-road bug right before that section. Like, what the heck? Now I lost again position to someone, and Hawk and Ecstatic are right behind. Man! I was just getting Ken. That would have been the perfect position. With half a minute. This is incredible. What the fuck, eh? What was this mid-road bug? Like, I was super safe ahead of Hawk, Exactic and so on. Nothing would have happened there for sure. Because I just planned to just drive it safe, and I think I have better pace than Kent. Dude, as incredible. I cannot believe this. Oh. Yeah, 4 people. I got another bug. Amazing. Man, I'm only ending up in 13th in the end. And I could have been easily 10th. That is so dumb. That mid-road bug in the wrong moment, that really ruined it. Now I have a lot of people right in front of me that I easily would have beaten. Just with one fatal crash less. Yeah, nice. This is another position I just lost. He wouldn't have been close to me normally. For the people that already finished. Hawk got 9th in the end. Apparently. Yeah, 10 seconds to Hawk. Okay, it's it was shown wrong. So I'm 13th, Hawk is 10th. And it's only 10 seconds to Hawk. I could have had such an easy good position here. Yeah, these 3 positions can matter in the end when it's about, like, when it's about the overall result of the whole competition. If I make it into the top 16 or not. And it's of course also partly against direct opponents, but as literally this... It was very controlled in the first 8 laps, or how long was it until I respawned here for the first time? I was 11th there, and I made it respawn and I still stayed on 11th somehow. So nothing even happened. I only lost time, of course, time that I'm now missing, but until then it was okay. But when it happened in 2 laps later, again, the same thing. And there it started, and I felt behind Kent. Okay. It still looked like I can overtake Kent back, and in front of me is a huge gap.
But when then more stuff happened, well, that completely changed it. Like, I was catching up to Kent in the end. Now, made interface on, saw, oh wow, that is Kent ahead of me. In front of him is like a huge gap. Nice, I get him. And exactly in that moment, like, what the actual fuck was that? And that ruined it, because suddenly Hawk and so on are then close to me, and yeah. And it was kind of obvious that I will not catch up to Kent again. I actually wanna recheck that section. What was that? Imao 352. Man, I'm only ending up in 13th in the end. And I could. So here I see a car ahead of me. I make now interface on, and I see that it's Kent right in front. I show again, like it doesn't stop when I press the spacebar. I see 147, Kent 146, and the next guy, Prof, is at 112 behind. Like in theory, you could say he would have been maybe possible with a race without any crashes. But ahead of Prof, like Phil is like then another league. Yeah, it's that is then another story. But 10th looked like the maximum possible. No, it's just ended, Uli. 10th looked like the maximum possible, and if I just get that, then it doesn't matter how many crashes have been in between there. The annoying thing is that like each crash that happens here is directly a respawn or a huge thing, no? Yeah, and what the heck happened now? No way! And then you have this way, yeah, like look at this shit way. Like, what is this? Yeah, it just ends. Like, what? No way! What does he build there? Now, how bad can you map that? So. And I wanted to save this. No way! Man, what is this bug? I just caught up to Kent. I was literally at him. Dude, I got a mid-road bug right before that section. Like, what the heck? Why does it not stop with spacebar? I just caught up to Kent. I want to check again. I was literally at him. After I cross here, you see now that Kent, oh, I cannot see, is it 148 then? Yeah, 148. And I'm now 156, and I was literally a second behind him. And Fat overtook me then at this point. And then there was this other part. That must be where you wrote a lot of XTDs, I believe. Probably 343. Yeah, we can go a bit further. This last stone is like... Also, first of all, it is really hard to judge how much speed do you have. I thought that this was good enough. And I mean, I almost jump onto the downhill. It shouldn't be... It shouldn't flip over at this point. If you jump a little bit shorter, yes, but here, after I touched here, I was immediately steering and braking in order to avoid that. And still it did that. And now, of course, it didn't directly make a front flip that I could continue. It stays then here and slides. And now I was now very afraid that my car will never get on its wheels, because then I would need to
respawn all the way back and do all this part again. And now the car just wants to go on its wheels, and at this stone, like what the fuck is this stone? What the heck? And then I thought, oh no, if it now, after I waited so long, lays on its roof, and I have to respawn that. You cannot be more unlucky. I mean, only if I actually ended up on my roof, that would have been more unlucky. What the fuck, eh? I was basically overjumping this. It is so... Also, literally. I don't know, I would like to flame a lot in the Discord now about this map, but what does it help? I already said my opinion earlier, this map is like pure garbage. Like, what the fuck? Oh god, Blackhead. That was like so clear from the beginning. I really should have decided to save this chicane there and to always drive just the road up. Like without any jump, kinda, yeah? And just do that all the way. Then I'm easily 10th, yeah? Then nothing can happen. Only the Midwood bug would still make me crash, obviously. But yeah, that is like, what the heck. So dumb.